This is a 2006 Sunseeker 82 yacht, and there are two things to mention about this boat. The first is, for an 82-foot yacht, it feels enormous. It really is a big, proper, almost super yacht vibe to this. It's fantastic. And the other is that there's a real warmth and charm to this boat, which I'm going to demonstrate to you when we go on board. I like this very much indeed. Now, we are in Southampton at the moment. This one's listed for sale with Sunseeker Pool, so I'll put some details in description, because who knows, once you've seen this, you might want to buy it from them. Let's step on board. So we have the usual high-low platform. Of course, you can put a tender on here. This owner has chosen to carry a jet ski on the back of the boat for a bit of fun. There's crew quarters in here and engine space, and of course we will take a look at those, but we're going to start on the inside, because the inside is definitely particularly special. So we're going through here. Now, often people have said to me, why have they got the Flybridge hatches? Because the cockpit is completely open anyway. Well, actually, these are the covers that you often find, especially in the UK, that people put on these boats. So when you have the cockpit hatch down, of course, it encloses this area. On this boat, you've got this great dining table at the back. Of course, this folds up if you don't want quite such a big area. Just slide those supports away. And on this side, then, there's also a fridge, top loading. And that's just a bin in that one. But in 2006, satin chaywood finish and leather was the thing for Sunseeker, and I think that this still looks brilliant. Look at that. And what a great social area that is. I love the way they shaped these settees so they really wrap around you. That of an evening, a quiet drink, a bit of music, maybe watching a movie on the big screen. That's awesome. And I think you'll see what I mean about the way that this woodwork is formed and the colour and the finish. I just think it looks really warm and really welcoming. Very impressed with that. We have got the mesh covers on the windows at the moment, so if you wonder why the windows look a little bit dark, that's why they of course come on. But of course we've just popped on here to film it, so at the minute they're still on. Do love the details like the lighting in the ceiling, the way you've got separate concealed lighting as well as the overhead downlighters. Let's go on a bit further. There's a big dining table on this one. And then we've got the galley opposite. Now, what's interesting about this, people often say to me, what's the largest boat that you can run without a crew? And I've always said, I reckon 80 to 85 foot, once you get much above that, you've got to start thinking about crew. So this 82 feet is just about, I think, as big as you can comfortably be without a crew, and it's backed up by the fact that this owner has no crew. He runs this one with his family or his friends, and so that kind of backs that theory up really. Now, Sunseeker of course are well aware of that, so where you've got this galley, for example, there's some quite neat details, like you can bring a door across. So if you do have crew and you want to enclose the galley area, you can do it. Same sort of thing here. These will fold across, and you've got the same on the other side. So it makes the boat very adaptable as to whether you want to have your crew, because if you want to run it yourself, of course, well, then you want this all open as it is at the moment, which is what this owner does. Now there's a wine cooler in here, all the lovely Sunseeker cutlery, present and correct. Look at this massive fridge freezer they put in here as well, American style. So you've got that one there, and then you've got the chilled water, and then more there. That's pretty good. And on this side, this is a pull-out storage for food or whatever else you want to put in there. And over here then, of course, your cooking equipment, so your oven and your hob. Loads of storage. That's for the plates. And these are the Sunseeker plates of the era. Look at these. The little Sunseeker logo on. Beautiful. And also in this area, a dishwasher. So that's hidden away in there. And again, masses of storage. Look at the way this all comes out here. It is the sort of boat that you might disappear on for a month at a time, so all that is well worth having. So we'll come out of here. The lower helm is directly ahead of us. So you've got these two lovely big black leather Sunseeker chairs. And look at this wheel, this looks so nice. where they finished all this off. It's got the Raymarine multifunction displays, so these are for charts, radar, depth, that kind of thing. Another one over there. That is autopilot. And then more screens like that. That, in fact, is a wind indicator, so it's direction and wind speed. It's quite a useful thing. That's the searchlight control, and your throttles are here. And this one's got bow and stern thrusters, which are very important. And a little message there for your children. Very polite, probably less polite the second time. Side access door, so you can get straight out from this area. And another thing this owner has, which I think is nice, is he's put these over carpets on a lot of these sections, so you can run this boat going out the door, for example, get to the lower helm, that sort of thing, and keep the carpets completely protected. Of course, they can be taken off as well. Lovely little snug up ahead of the galley area, so that is a completely separate little area of the boat. Somewhere for a morning coffee, or of course to tuck yourself away with a good book. Let's go and have a look downstairs. So this is the lower deck. And if we head into here, I walked into here earlier and I thought that is a lovely master cabin. So I was rather surprised to discover that it wasn't. In fact, this is the VIP cabin. It's a huge size though, really big. This of course is loads of storage everywhere. Again, it's all about the serious cruising ethos of this boat. You could go and spend some serious time on board of it. Love these little lights, and again the woodwork in here, beautiful. Dressing table, loads more storage, and you know I can't pass a mirror without doing that. TV in here as well, and then in this one, that is walk-in wardrobe. And again, masses of storage in around there. These are just heaters to put in place when the boat's not being used. And opposite that is this cabin's ensuite. Again, lovely size. Separate shower stall, and then the toilet is in behind. I love these quartered doors, the way they've done this. Beautiful. So, pretty good for your guests, but there are more. There are 4 cabins on this boat in total. If we come back down here, again you've got these overmats on, which I think is a great idea. This is the day heads. People say, well, you say heads, not head. Well, it's head in America and the UK. We always refer to it as heads. Why? I've got no idea, but there it is. Separate shower stall again. And it is a good size. It's a very well proportioned boat, this one actually. Behind that is another guest cabin. They've put lighting down underneath a bed and places like that, so you've got concealed lighting and direct overhead lighting, which is independently switched. And again, that beautiful woodwork. Love the wood in this. So nicely done. This has ensuite access into that head, so at night this has a proper ensuite, and then of course again wardrobe storage. All that kind of thing is dotted around the cabin. And there's another one of these over on this side. There's no compromise, is there? Again, tons of headroom as you come into here. Tons of storage in places like this. And another decent wardrobe. And the ensuite for this cabin is ahead of it. Very nice. There are portholes, of course, in behind these blinds, and a separate shower stall. It's a good size though, isn't it? That feels like a bathroom, not just a toilet on a boat. And then finally on the lower deck, of course, if you go back again, now this is the master cabin. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And again, the warmth of that woodwork, I think that really shines through. Seating on this side, and there are big windows behind these blinds. The blinds are down at the minute. Let's see if I can pull those up and show you. Yeah, there we go. So you have got a terrific view out of here. We're at the handle at the moment. And there's beautiful lamps about the place. And the ensuite to this cabin, well, that is back behind the bulkhead. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. And you might have noticed the door on the other side. If we go right around the bed, dressing table over here. None of those big windows, and huge walk-in wardrobe. You could put this in the Med, and you could say in May, going down to the boat, we'll see you in October, and just spend the entire summer on board this, couldn't you? It would be brilliant. Now, interesting fact about these boats, they did do alternative layouts. They did another version where they moved this bulkhead back, they got rid of these, the bathroom and the walk-in wardrobe, and they put those up ahead where that cabin is, and then moved that cabin forward to make a smaller bunk-bedded cabin. So you had a much larger master suite. I've got to say though, I think it's probably big enough. And I think this was the most popular layout that they did. Excellent. Let's go and take a look around the outside. But do you see what I mean about this feeling so big for an 82-foot boat? You wouldn't think it, would you? It feels like you're on a 90 or a 95. More storage in there. I think it's terrific. Very pleased with this. These little pin lights lighting this area up. I think what we're going to do is we'll head out through this side door and take a look around the front. I shall summon my shoes. Excellent. Oh, we picked a nice day for it. That, if I'm not much mistaken, is a Fairland Tiger 40 heading down the river out to sea, and I have a tour of one of those on Aquaholic, so if you wonder what that boat looks like, have a little search, you'll find it. This is the foredeck. Some big fenders stored up here. And then you've got sunbathing across the front, and then this lovely seat around the front of the boat. There's of course cushions to go on here, they're not on here at the moment. And again, deck lights dotted about the place. But that is a chunk of boat, isn't it? Let's head down this side. Deeply bulwark side decks, and these rails, they're very super yacht style with the upright stanchions rather than sloping ones like you get on sort of motor cruiser style, like perhaps the boat next door, which I think is a V39. I have a V40 on the channel, it's the slightly newer version of that. So very easy boat to walk around and utilise, and of course it's a flybridge. So if we head on around here and back across the back, these steps will take us up. This is the hatch that I mentioned when we first came in, so with that closed and these covers on, you've got this as a fully enclosed area, protected from the weather, and a lovely place in the evening to sit out and keep some warmth in, but keep the view and feel like you're outside. That's excellent. Let's go on up here. And this again is another of those areas where you think, is this really only an 82-foot boat? Because it's vast up here. You've got these great loungers on the back. Be a wonderful place to watch the world go by. Up here on the arch, you've got track vision domes. Those were satellite communications and television. And then things like the radar. That's the wind speed indicator on the top there. That's the thing that we saw down at the lower helm. TV aerial antennas and so on. But let's go right to the back and take a look forward. Isn't that a lovely big area? This fella across the top, that is a bimini, so you can drop that forward and it's a big sunshade over this area, so if it's really hot you can get plenty of shade up here. And then Again, big seating areas like you've got downstairs. Those work really well. And the bar. So there's a sink there. There's a griddle underneath that one. A top loading fridge. And on the front, an ice maker. And of course, there is a helm position up here. So you've got seating for 3 people easily across here, and another couple on here. So 5, maybe even 6 people can sit across there, and you have the sun loungers on this side as well. Twin multifunction displays, and then repeats for engine controls, steering of course, thrusters are up here. So everything you need to drive the boat, you can do it from up here. I'm going to slip my shoes off and walk right up to the front of here, because this, I think, just gives you a feeling of how big this boat is. That's dramatic, isn't it? And if we look backwards, again, it's proper motor yacht stuff. It's sub super yacht. It really has that super yacht vibe to it. It's not quite at the super yacht size, which is 24 meters load line length, but it ain't far off, and it certainly feels like it is. Let's head on round here. There's more to see. Crew cabins and of course engines. So we'll come right back down to the bathing platform, because that is where that is accessed from. There's a hatch in the floor here. I'll explain what that's for when we're in the engine space, because you'll see the other side of it. If we head out to the back, that's a really big bathing platform. These ones here, these are storage for deck gear, cleaning stuff, whatever else you want to keep in there. And then another one here. And the access to the crew cabin, well, that is through here. Now I mentioned that this owner doesn't have a crew, so these aren't actually technically in use. So I think he's just got a bit of gear and that kind of thing in here, but you'll be able to see them and see what they're all about. So there are 2, in fact. There's one here, and there's a bed that goes across down underneath there. This has its own ensuite, toilet, sink, and there's a shower in here as well. And of course a window behind that blind, and there's storage underneath and up above, and a big hanging locker in here. But that is mirrored on the other side of the boat, because there's another one here. Single bed, so if you've got 2 crew, they've got their own sleeping areas, which is rather nice. They're not having to share. And again, exactly the same, big wardrobe. And ensuite. Again, it's proper motor yacht stuff, isn't it? And then finally, motors. Now these are a pair of MTU. They're 1,500 horsepower each, and they're pushing the speed up. I would think she must be up around 30 knots flat out, somewhere around there. And then cruising, we're probably cruising the low 20s, 22, 23 knots, which is where most people cruise these types of boats, no matter how fast they go. And range, I'm guessing a bit, but I'm going to say probably about 500 miles at planing speeds. What else have we got in here? Generators, there's 2 of those. So that box there, that's a generator. And there is another one then down outboard of that engine. That, I believe, is the air conditioning system. And in fact, we can go right round here. And these are probably locked shut. Yes, they are, but that's electronics in areas like that. And that fella there is the washing machine. And then more electronic switchgear and that kind of thing across the back. I love the fact someone's put a brass clock and barometer in here. That's fantastic. It's even an inclinometer, where you can see it there. Brilliant. Very well lit. Very good size. tool chest down over there. Awesome. I mentioned that hatch in the floor of the cockpit. That's what this ladder goes to, up to that one there. So there's another way out of here. Or in fact, you can get into here without going down onto the bathing platform if you want to. And then you've got things like boarding ladder and that kind of stuff is stored in here as well. That's fantastic. Really taken with this boat. Let's close that up. Find somewhere to finish off. I think we'll finish on these steps just here with a lovely view, and say thank you to Sunseeker Pool who organised that tour for me, much appreciated, and thank you to you guys as ever for watching. If you've not subscribed, do hit that little button because we've got some great stuff coming for you and I'd hate for you to miss it. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, bye bye. Up by the fact that this owner has no crew. He runs this one with his family or his friends, and yeah. Thanks for that. Boarding ladder and that kind of stuff is stored in here as well. That's fantastic. Really taken with this boat, he says, falling out of the engine space. That's fantastic. Really taken with this boat. Let's close that up.